England are the favourites to win Euro 2024. They're very much favourites also to qualify. Top of Group C, they're 100 to 1 on to advance. They're in a group alongside Denmark, Serbia and Slovenia. For more on this, let's welcome in, shall we, former England international and our colleague, Steve McManaman. Macca, here we go again. England are favourites. It's all going to go well this time. This time it's going to happen.
The main thing is you've got the top men in the studio. That's the most important thing.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe John Hutchinson's flown across to sit next to you and Burley. That's the most important thing. But listen, you know what my take is over England. I'm very relaxed. I don't go into all that, when the tournament starts, we get behind them. I know how difficult it is to win a tournament. I know how strong the other nations are. They've got a good chance, Dan. Let's keep it at that. But, that's about as much as they get. They need a little bit of luck, a bit of fortune here and there. But I think if you go through the team, we would probably all think, Don and Craig and yourself, that they are a little bit weak at the back. So there's questions to be answered. But, we'll wait and see. Let's hope they have a good tournament. That's the most important thing.
What's been interesting is what's happened in the lead up to this is kind of giving us more questions than answers in the games against Iceland and Bosnia, in which they weren't particularly impressive at all.
I think their participation in this tournament and how far they go might not come down to how good they are going forward. Might come down to how solid they can be at the back, because we know they're going to cause teams problems, but they could cause themselves some problems, because that's, as Macca said, that's been their Achilles heel for quite some time, and even maybe more with the injuries that have come their way. So yeah, I mean, lots to pick from midfield onwards. He's got choices there, but at the back,
it's the centre-back pairing, isn't it?
I think it's the centre-back and the goalkeeper.
Right.
Still, although Pickford's been around for forever, it seems, and Southgate likes him, and he's been to World Cup semi-finals and European Championship finals. But how much protection is he going to get? John Stones had a up and down season with injury. A lot of the times he didn't play centre-back; he played in midfield, or he stepped into midfield, and others did the other side of the game for him. Kanji and Diaz and Kyle Walker. And then you've got Gui from Crystal Palace. And then beyond that, really, what have you got? If something happens to John Stones, Maguire's not around. It's pretty fragile back there.
Who do you play, given that conversation, in front of the back four to give it a little more protection if you feel it needs it?
I mean, I personally would go Kobbie Mainoo and Declan Rice.
Right.
I'd play the two. I see Gallagher playing a role off the bench where they're going to need his legs, they're going to need energy, if they're chasing the game. He's number 8 that can get forward, get goals. I think it's going to be fascinating how the manager approaches this, because normally Gareth's been quite a pragmatic manager, but the only way they are going to win at England is if they outscore the opposition. So they've got to be brave, and they've got to probably have an understanding. They won't, but looking from the outside, they've got to have an understanding where they know the weakest part of this team is at the back. I agree with Craig. I think the goalkeeper, I think Jordan Pickford for club, and probably the country's been good, but I still think he might have a rick in him. I think he seems a bit emotional at times. So he's got to try and go a couple of steps further, Gareth Southgate, if he can, and maybe try and simplify it and maybe play an entertaining brand of football where it might be 3-2, it might be 2-1, it might be a 4-3, but somehow outscore the opposition. This is not an England side that's going to keep clean sheets.
What do you do with Trent Alexander-Arnold, Macca? Is there any argument to play him in the centre alongside Rice?
Yes, I think there is. Dan, to be honest, I think that's a major consideration for Gareth, and I think he has considered it, and he is considering it. I've been working for ESPN for a long time, and in 2018, I bemoaned the fact that they should go out and try and kill teams off when they were 1-0 up at half-time to Croatia. I did it at Wembley when it was, a very partisan English crowd during the COVID times. We should have finished teams off. I'm all for being positive, and actually, this is the one tournament where probably we can be positive, because as Don and Craig has rightly just said, we've got so many questions at the back, and particularly on that left side of centre defence and at left back, where Kieran Trippier hasn't had the greatest year, and of course he's playing an orthodox position as a right-footed left back. So why not be more attack-minded? Why not go heavy on winning the game? And if we do win 3-2 or 4-2 or whatever score you want, as long as we win the game and we're progressive and we're attractive to watch and we're entertaining the fans, I think I'm more than happy for that. So if you want to put Trent Alexander along Declan Rice, fine. If you want to put Jude Bellingham alongside Declan Rice and put, I don't know, Bukayo Saka in front of that 11 that you've just chosen, or a Cole Palmer in there, so be it. I don't mind losing games as long as we go down fighting, as long as we go down with an attitude of we're going to go and outscore this team. Our best players in this England side are all the forwards. So why not utilise them, and why not go and try and outscore teams? I know these first 3 games should be fine for England. But as Craig rightly said, if we get injuries, Lewis Dunk might come in if John Stones goes out, or a Konza. You know, you're talking about inexperienced centre defenders in major tournaments. That is a problem that other teams will try their best to exploit.
Well, Lewis Dunk came in for that friendly against Belgium and got severely caught out. He's been great for Brighton, but his pace really got him caught out.
Well, we have, a tradition of hyping up players in England, but there is no question that Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden are world-class and have been this season. Phil Foden, the best player in the Premier League. Jude Bellingham, the best in Spain. What's the best way for them to play together, Craig?
These 2 players are pivotal to how England will perform going forward and maybe take some pressure off that defence. That's how good they are. These 2 they could play in any team in any country, for any country in the world. They get in the team. They're big game players. We've seen it for Foden with Man City, and we certainly saw it with Bellingham, who stepped into the biggest arena of them all this season and just puffed his chest out and was magnificent, particularly in the first 6 months. So they can take games with the scruff of the neck. And Southgate has to make sure, along with Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice and Harry Kane, that he moulds this team that gets the best out of it. Ancelotti get the best out of Bellingham. Guardiola get the best out of Phil Foden, particularly in the league. Can Southgate get the best out of both? If he does, this England team are going to be dangerous going forward.
How does he do it then? How can you get the Jude Bellingham, the performance we saw from Real Madrid, and Foden for City to both do it in an England shirt, Macca?
Well, as Craig rightly said, Carlo Ancelotti can do it. We put Vinicius, Rodrigo and Jude Bellingham in the team. It doesn't mean they're pinpointed left, right and centre. You see sometimes the 3 of them are within 5 yards of each other on the left-hand side of midfield, stroke going forward. They're almost holding hands when you watch them in La Liga, because they know they could almost gang up on the other side, make the numbers count. So you have to be very, very flexible. And I don't know whether Gareth has got that in his system to almost say to them, look, you are free, go wherever you feel dangerous. Because if you look at Madrid or you look at Manchester City, you've got the back 4, you've got Rodri sitting, you've got the goalkeeper, so you've always got a solid 6. So England have that. If you have a back 4 that doesn't move, if you have Pickford and you have Declan Rice, you've got 6 defenders, that should be enough. And then that should be also the opportunity for the 5 in front, or the 5 other players, to go and do whatever they want to do. And that's what they should have, as long as they've got the mobility and the fluidity to play when they're going forward, to move around. But as soon as you lose the ball, right, you need to get back into a position behind the ball. Wherever you lose the ball, wherever you are standing, make an effort to jump the other side of the ball, and then we'll get static and people can move off you. But I quite like the fluidity. Foden does. I don't know where Foden plays for Man City. Does he play left? Does he play right? Does he play in the centre? Same with Bellingham for Madrid. If you watch them enough, they move to wherever they feel the danger is. They can, Foden and Bellingham could almost be together if it's 2 against 1 against a particular person on the opposite side. If they feel there's a weakness in the side, go and join up, go and exploit that weakness. But I just don't know whether Gareth has got that in his mentality, because the last couple of tournaments, the last 3 tournaments he's been involved with since 2018, he doesn't seem to have it. But I think that this is his last tournament. He may be a little bit more relaxed. He may well say to the players, go and enjoy yourselves, go and exploit it, go and do whatever you think you can to win the game.
Just a reminder, I don't make up the odds. This is what the bookies are saying with regards to favourites, and it is England who are the favourites to go and win that first major tournament since 1966, alongside France. Both come in at 7-2. Germany at 5-1. If you look at it, actually...
So they're not favourites?
History isn't generous...
Joint favourites.
...when it comes to favourites going into tournaments. France, obviously, were favourites. I think everyone picked France in 2020 and in 2016. Meanwhile, Spain were champions when they had that fantastic side. Germany only finished runners-up. France back in 2004. It's win or bust, isn't it, Macca?
Well, yeah, it has to be. It's in Germany, of course. The climate's great for the English side. Of course, we're going to have lots of fans there. They've got the new golden generation that people talk about with the likes of Bellingham and Kane and Foden, who've had wonderful seasons. Declan Rice, of course, had a great season. So they have to go and listen. We're ex-footballers. We take it as it is. We watch the game. We understand the weaknesses. We understand where they can be better. We don't get overawed about it. We can judge it how it is. But they're in good form. They've got a good opportunity. But as I've said before, France, if you go through their side, they're stronger than England if you go through their squad. Germany at home, Tony Kroos back, they had a good result against France. They're now strong. Spain are strong. Italy is strong. So you can't just say, oh, they're favourites. You know, you want to be a bookmaker for this tournament because you'll earn absolute fortunes looking at those prices. So all you can do is say, go, give your best, and you need a little bit of luck on it today. Like in every cup competition around the world, you need a bit of luck to succeed. And hopefully England will get that.